Out here, the wind decides everything. Racing, teaching, and the moments you can't plan for. We chase the wind wherever it takes us. Carpe Ventum Sailing. Seize the wind. Welcome to Carpe Ventum Sailing. I'm Alan, and these are my legs. This will be our first video we ever make, and kind of going around the boat that we're going to be racing on tonight. This is Bogey. It's a J120. Beautiful boat. Been racing on this boat for a few years now. We're racing out in Hampton, Virginia, on the Chesapeake Bay here. So looking forward to this race. It's my first race of this season. I've been personally racing since I was probably able to walk, or at least sailing since that age. I've been racing since around 8 or 9 years old. Grew up in racing, sailed through college, coached college sailing, and then took off and sailed delivering boats and doing various things around the world. Also with a nonprofit that was attempting to sail around the world back in my 20s. Going around the boat here, we got Steve right there. That's our captain. Right there across from me, that is Noah, a new member to our crew for the night. He's actually from another boat, decided to join us for the ride. Right now we're just in the slip getting ready to go. And I'm probably going to fast forward through a lot of this as we go forward. And basically the way I want to do these videos is just do voiceovers, talk about what's going on during the racing aspect of it. What we'll end up doing is talk about different aspects of the boat, different parts of the boat. There's Corey. He's a new crew member from last year that just joined our boat. Great sailor. Was on the Naval Academy's offshore 40 team. We're just getting ready to cast off lines and get out of the slip here. A few things about the J120 in case you don't know. It is an asymmetrical spinnaker boat. For those that are new to sailing, that means that we have that bowsprit. You kind of saw it in the last frame there if you want to go back a little bit. So when we go downwind, what we'll do is we'll push that pole out and have a tack line. So the line's going to run from the front of that sail and pushes that out all the way to the end of the pole. And we'll walk through that later in this video because I'm actually the one who ends up doing that. That's Bill right there. He's our bowman for tonight. Not our normal bowman. We had kind of a motley crew for this evening, and very, very light on crew. Normally this boat has around 10 people on it. We're operating a whole lot less. And to go around, you have Steve driving, myself supposed to be trimming, ended up doing a lot more than that. Bill is going to be on bow. He's in charge of the pointy end of the boat, the very front there. Corey's in the back trimming with me, doing spinnaker trim. Noah was doing our mast. He's in charge of the mast of the boat to raise and lower sails. And Andy right there in the yellow jacket with the hat on, he was doing the main sail trim. So for those new to sailing, trimming's when you pull the sails in using lines or ropes. The jib trim, our regular trim, is going to be for that front sail. You can see it wrapped up right there above Corey giving fist bumps that we're clear of the boats. We're not going to hit anything. That's a roller furler, so the sail actually rolls up around that front part called the forestay. And there's lines coming off of it. You see two lines, one coming right back towards the camera, the other one back the other side. Those are our jib sheets. They will control the trim of that jib sail. And then there you can see the pulley back there by the wheel. That is the main sheet that will control the mainsail. That has that one that's folded on the boom right now. You can see kind of the system on here. We use lazy jacks. There's those ropes that are running from the boom. That's the pole that's coming across horizontal to the deck of the cabin. And that helps to lower, really just to lower the sail in a really easily way. We'll take those off before you raise the sail. We've already taken the sail ties off of it, so it's all loose in there, ready to go up. I think it already has its halyard on there. The halyard is the line that's used to raise the sail, so you'll hear me use that term, whether it's a jib halyard, a main halyard, or a spinnaker halyard, depending on what sail we're putting up. That big red bag in the front, it's actually on the wrong side right now. We'll end up figuring that out during the race. That is our spinnaker bag. So that's the big downwind sail. You ever see pictures of sailboats with those big colorful sails? That's what that's in there. That red line right there with all the pulleys, that's our boom vang. We use that to adjust the B, it's flattening out the sail, or actually pulling in the roach of the sail. I'll probably do a whole nother video explaining that. I'm getting the lazy jacks off right now so you can see my hands working. I'm moving all those ropes forward, so that way we can get ready to raise the main up as we're coming out of the dock here and heading out towards the bed. Yeah, so there's like I said, the lazy jacks coming off, and now the sails flopped right over, because once the lazy jacks aren't holding them up, there's nothing to hold that big sail on the boom anymore. So it kind of just flops over, and we're just trying to secure those lines to the mast there before we start to raise that sail up almost immediately. Yep, see, there goes up. So it's going to go ahead and head up. We still have the motor on at this point, so we're motoring on the boat out. These sails are made of Dacron. At least this sail is. The jib's going to be a carbon fiber and Kevlar weave. Like most of the jibs you see out racing, spinnaker is that really thin material. So that's that big colorful sail like I talked about already. And we'll do that later. We use that for downwind sails. A couple other lines you'll see here us mess with. That one hole, I'm moving my head around too much because I am working on this. So the boom vang is going to control that shape of that mainsail, along with something called the Cunningham, or the downhaul, depending on where you're from, or sometimes we call it the Ritchie. The boom vang, as I said, and then also the outhaul, which is going to pull from the back of the sail. The line runs inside the boom. The Cunningham pulls down on the mast. So that's able to kind of, in all directions, flatten out the sail or let out some of the pressure on different aspects of the sail to get that shape how we want it. Like I said, right now we're heading out of the creek. I call it a creek. It's actually the Hampton River, so technically it is a river. It looks more like a creek. But we're just kind of securing everything and heading out. So I'm going to stop talking for now. We're going to fast forward for a bit, and then I will take back off when we're getting ready for the countdown and get ready to start. All right, now we're a little further out, still towards the mouth, but I just wanted to kind of point out a few things. Bill right here is now at the mast. He's trying to get that Cunningham, our downhaul, put onto the sail. He's not normal to our boat as well. I don't know if he sailed on bogey before or not, whether this is a couple times in, but we use a soft shackle, so it's a little bit different than a normal thing. So he's looking for the shackle there and can't quite find it, so I go up to the system and give him a hand there. Soft shackles are a little bit different. Normally you'll have like a little metal hook, but you can see the loop I just put up in the camera for a second there, and it has like a little, almost like a monkey's fist. This is a knot. And there's a slip in there, so the loop goes around the knot, you slip it in, and it tightens around that knot and holds that in there. So and then we'll go ahead and get this, you'll see in a few seconds here. Once I get that there, I have to untangle it all from the pulleys down there because it was all wrapped up, and trying to get some pressure or some tension on that particular line. The main trimmer was looking for that, and also wanted some more out haul on as well. In a couple of seconds here, once I get this all unwrapped, you can see me kind of just get in there. Someone had tied it all up. When they store it away, we like to tie up our lines and our ropes just to make everything neat. But sometimes when there's me pull it. That's the out haul that I was talking about. That's going to pull the back of the sail back. So those lines run inside the boom, but you pull it right there, and it runs to the very, very back corner of the sail there. So now we're getting a better shape for the wind that we had. It was blowing about 16, gusting to 20 knots. So that's a pretty good breeze. And it was a pretty cold day out here too. You can see we're all in our fallies. Well, except for Corey, who's a rock star wearing shorts. Also, one crew member forgot is Dean right there with the sweater and the hat. Not Andy with the yellow life jacket, but the other guy there. He's also helping us trim a bit. So that is our last crew member. He was down below when I was introducing crew members earlier. So there's Dean. So now we got the sail shaped kind of the way we want it, and we're kind of cruising right along. Motor sailing still, but at the same time, we're probably under sail more than motor, making it out towards the race committee. All right here you can see Corey adjusting this thing on the boat. It's called a car. And those are our jib cars. They run on this track on each side of the cabin top there. And what that will do is change the angle at which the jib sheet, the rope that pulls in the jib, pulls down that corner of the sail. So of course, the more forward it was, the more it will let that sail billow out forward. If you pull it back, it senses that in closer to the boat. Depending on your wind speed and how much pressure's on that sail is really where we want to set those. So here we have them set a little far back. We end up moving them forward later in the race, but for right now, it's kind of what we're working with as we're heading out towards the race course here. You can see in front of us a couple of the sailboats out there gearing up to sail. We're actually the last start on these. This is Wednesday night sailing. So for Wednesday night sailing, there's one of the boats. It's actually, I think, race committee there. That sailboat that doesn't have a sail up. Yeah, it's race committee. So you can see they have some flags at the back of their boat. Well, no, that's not race committee. That's just a cruiser. Never mind. With my head moving so much, it's hard to tell. Yeah, race committee's further out. I was like, that's a little soon to be race committee. No, that was just a cruiser headed in. Not part of the racing, not part of anything else, but love our fellow sailors. So, yeah, when we get out to the race committee, if I get a good shot, if my head points towards there, I'll show you how they have flags, and that's how they indicate the starts. We're actually the third start on Wednesday nights. They start non-spinnaker fleet first, which are usually cruisers, or they could be racing boats that just aren't flying that big front sail downwind. So non-spin or non-spinnaker class. And then we have B fleet and A fleet. At the bigger races, and I'll probably do some GoPro action for some of the bigger races later this summer, but for the bigger races, you'll have a lot more fleets because there's a lot more boats. A fleet typically is going to be your fastest boats. Sometimes you have a lot of fast boats and a whole lot of boats in your class. They'll have Super A, which are going to be more of your sport boats, and then you'll have regular A. And then B is your slower boats, and C is even slower, and then usually cruising class and non-spin. They rate these boats. In Southern Bay, they use perf. There's lots of different rating systems. It's a whole entire rating system that takes all the measurements of your boat, and they come out and give your boat a rating based on the sail area, the displacement hull, or if it's a planing hull, how it moves across the water, all the different measurements, and just basically a handicap. So all the boats have a handicap, and the reason why we do that is because we don't race with all the same type of boat. There are one design racing. Some of the bigger fleets, like the old FAR 40 class, J24s, which are even older. They're still out here. J24s. That's another J boat, like the J120 we're sailing here. It's a smaller one, but every once in a while you will find some of these one designs. Melgis has a big class right now going on, the Melgis 24s and Melgis 32s. They have some one design races across the country. But for right here, we're racing a bunch of different kinds of boats, a bunch of different manufacturers, different size boats. So a handicap makes it fair for everyone. That way, your boat gets adjusted time based on the speed. Makes it fair. So yeah, so I'll fast forward here, I'll cut away, and we'll get back to it once we are heading into the countdown sequence and we're about to unfurl the jib. All right, so just real fast, I wanted to kind of give you a tour. We were trying to figure out what course we're going to run. It was a foxtrot flag, an F flag flying over. We can never remember what course that is. So we went down below and I decided, hey, why don't I give you a tour of the nav station? So this is the nav station. It's where the computer is. You can see the berths over there. Berths are a fancy name for a couch or a bed on a boat. Here I'm just kind of rummaging through everything that's inside the desk here, seeing if I had anything from the sailing guides or some of the handbooks to see if it had anything listed. Because we couldn't find the laminated sheet that had the. You can't see my hands here, but I'm actually, because the camera's up higher on my head. But I'm looking through all these books to figure out what and Corey's down there with me, trying to figure out what course we're running. It ended up being course B, which basically all that means is we're sailing around the Hampton Bar, starting out headed towards the Hampton Bridge Tunnel. And that's all that means. But just wanted to kind of give you a quick glimpse here of going down below. All right, so I wanted to get you into our start sequence now. So we are in our start sequence. We're about to unfurl that jib. So you can see that line right there. It's kind of bouncing around. It's going out. That's our furler line. And then the jib just came out on the other side. So Corey's there getting that all secure. We're in our 5-minute countdown at this point. So racing's about to start. Yeah, this is where it all starts. We're going to get going. So yeah, fun times here. We are getting ready to go through a tack. So when you're sailing on a boat, I think he's going to go through tack. He's trimming in the close haul, trying to get that sail in. We use these things called winches. So those are those drums that are sticking up a little bit. We put a handle in there, and they clip in, and then you can spin them around. And they have gears in there, and you can spin at 2 different speeds that give you different purchase as far as how much pressure you have to use. And one spins faster than the other. Think about like gears on a bike. You know, if you ever had a bike that's like a 5-speed or a 10-speed bike where you shift gears and it's harder to pedal, but it spins faster. Same type of concept here. You spin one way, it has a lot more, spins faster, but it's a lot harder. And then you can spin the other way where it pulls it in slower, but it's a lot more easier to spin that. Right now we're just running the line. What's that called? That marker that we just sailed past is part of the line, and then you can see ahead of us that sailboat that doesn't have any sails up. That is the race committee. So they have some flags off the back of the boat that signify that we're in our countdown and what part of the countdown is. Plus, some of those displays, you can't really see them on this camera, but one of them is counting down the time till our start. So in a few minutes, what we're going to do, or for a few seconds probably, is we're going to tack over. What that is we change all the sides of the sail. So what will happen, walk through that. One person's going to release the jib sheet on one side, the sail's going to flap around and go to the other side as we move across the wind. So the wind's going to blow on the other side of the boat, and then we'll have to trim in that sail on the opposite side. Right now we're on what's called a port tack, which means that the wind's coming across the port or left side of the boat. When we tack over, we'll be on a starboard tack, meaning that the wind's coming across the right side of the boat. So you can see he's turning the boat now. You can see the land moving. He just broke that. Now I'm going to go ahead and start pulling on this winch as soon as I can. He starts grinding, moving that winch around so you get that sail in. That was a really good tack. Got that sail in nicely. Not all our tacks look that good, but yay! Sometimes we get it right. So you know, we're gearing up, like I said, for the start here. Probably, if I remember correctly, we were a little early to the line, but we just ran down the line. There's a really big line. Not many boats out. Right now I'm actually on the winch. I let the other guy go. Got down there, you can see my hand moving just to fine tune that sail in to get the right trim to maximize speed. As we head up here, I think this is when we're actually getting into that starting sequence. So I don't know how much time's left on the clock, but you'll see it start to luff or let the main flap a little bit. And the reason we're doing that is we're trying to kill some speed and kill some time because we're a little early. You don't want to be over, see right there. So see how we headed up? Oh no, we're tacking, never mind. So this is another tack. See, I move my hand, I flip the rope right off that drum, goes to the other side. The 2 other people, one grinds, one pulls, get that sail on the other side. And that is a tack. Yeah, so right there, grinding it in very nicely. And what I like to do as well, as soon as we're done, we take that lazy sheet. It's the one that's not doing anything on the other side, and I start making it up immediately around that winch. You have 2 sheets on the jib. One's going to be your active sheet or your working sheet. That's the one that's going to be trimming that sail in on the opposite side, so the right side right now. The other side's going to be your lazy one. I like to always make that up because you never know, especially in starting sequences, how fast we're going to need to tack. This one is a really short tack, meaning that we're on this course for a really short period of time, and then just right now, we're already going back over. So we're tacking now, heading back over towards the line. We're in starting sequence, like I said, so we're coming up to that final countdown. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to be a little early to the start on this particular race. So you can see the main's going to start to bubble. So if you look right at the mast, you'll see how it starts to bubble. Yeah, right there. See how it starts to bubble in? He's doing that on purpose, and that's to kill speed. We're trying to slow the boat down because we're early. You don't want to be over the line early, right? That was the race committee we just passed. So we're just going to run the line, meaning that we're just going parallel to it rather than crossing it until we hit 0 on our countdown. If you cross early, you're over early, you have to go back and restart it pretty much ruins the race, especially for the short races. In a few seconds, we do start. So you see now we're grinding. Everything's going to start coming back in because now we are starting. So the race has started. The main's a little slow coming in, but that's all right. We'll get there. So he's going ahead. There he goes. So yeah, got that main in as well. Oftentimes you do want to trim that main in first before the jib. The reason being, it's going to help that skipper turn that boat off into the wind. We can't sail directly into the wind because that's how physics works. If you're familiar with Bernoulli's principle, that's how upwind sailing works. It basically creates a wing, just flip it up the other way, creates lift and pulls us. So we sail a little higher than 45 degrees to the wind. Right now we're a little overpowered. What that means is we have a lot of sail up for a lot of wind. We probably should have went with a smaller jib. We're not really going to put a reef in the main, but we have a lot of jib up. It doesn't look like that in the shot, but we do. That's a number 2, so we always name sails by numbers. I know it's kind of weird. Number 1's going to be your biggest. Number 2 and number 3 is going to be smaller than usually a 4 or a storm jib. We probably could have went with a 3 for this race, but it wasn't too bad. This boat likes to be overpowered. Here's me hitting the rail down low so I can keep watching my sail trim. That's why I keep looking up with my head, because I'm watching that line and looking up the sail, and there's little windows in there, and there's little pieces of yarn, and they flap depending on how the wind's moving across the sail. So it lets me know whether I need to pull it in some. The leech line, you see how it's flapping on the back, it needs to be tightened up. I wish I had seen that. I didn't even notice that when we were racing. We could have tightened it up, made it a little better, but whatever. Not a big deal. It doesn't affect too much. The big part of that is that front leading edge. It needs to be nice. That's why you see that window, little circle up there. It's a window, and you can't see the camera, but there's a piece of yarn in there. And that yarn will flow straight across as the wind's moving evenly on each side of the sail, the inside and the outside. Lets us know that the sail's trimmed correctly, and you can see me make a few adjustments here and there. When we're overpowered and the boat starts to heel over, that's what it's doing right now. We can see that rail dipping in the water, heeling over. If it gets over too much, the jib never really comes out unless we're super overpowered. Normally what's going to happen is on the back of the boat, the main sailor is going to drop what's called the traveler. So he has the main sheet. I know we talked about parts of the boat already a whole lot. We have the main sheet, that's the rope, but also there's a track back there. So it slides that rope mechanism back and forth on a track, and we call that the traveler. And that's like, you can move that up and down a lot easier than unsheeting and sheeting. It's more like micro adjustments, if you think about it that way, a traveler, versus the sheets can be more macro. If your traveler's all the way down, you're still overpowered, you might have to dump the sheet, let the sheet out. But for the most part, you set the sheet and then you just work the traveler. If you're overpowered, let it down. We're doing a tack right here. There's me throwing off. The wind is increasing here as we're heading towards the bridge tunnel up there. And now I hit the rail. So when you're not doing something, we have a 3-man team right now, it is really important to hit the rail on the high side of the boat. It's movable ballast. What that does is it keeps that lower part on the high side, so that part that's dipping the rail, it keeps that boat flatter, which is going to keep that from being as overpowered. Let the keel work for you more, let the sails work optimally, and not let you round up. If we turn too far over where that boat really starts to sink over to the other side, the rudder's going to round up, meaning that the whole boat's going to turn it towards the wind. It's going to slow you down a whole lot. So getting bodies on the rail, you can see how the other guys are sitting on the rail as well, it's just going to be helpful there. It might not seem a lot with one guy with so much wind, so much power, sitting on the rail does a lot, but you got a lot of bodies up there, that weight starts to add up. I mean, you think about it, if the average male is somewhere between like 150 to 200 pounds, and then let's say we have a girl on the boat somewhere between 100 and 140 pounds, add 5 bodies and add those numbers together, and you're talking about somewhere anywhere between 600, 800, even maybe 1,000 pounds if they're all 200-pound guys. 1,000 pounds is a lot of weight. It doesn't matter who you are. So right here we got a nice shot of the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. You can see the crane there. It's under construction right now. They're actually added another tunnel. If you live in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, between Newport News and Hampton and Virginia Beach and Norfolk, that's the tunnel that most people take. We just passed a mark there. That's one of the day markers. Not a rounding mark. That's coming up soon. But passed it pretty close. But as we're getting closer to the bridge, you can see all the construction equipment, the cranes up there, as they're adding more bridge and more tunnel. Yay. You get to see it from this perspective, otherwise being stuck on traffic on the bridge. Because they're not stopping traffic while doing this construction project. So if you have a vacation down Virginia Beach and head down 64, that's the bridge you cross. So yeah, we're going to come up here. You can see the water here. This is actually, if I turn my head back, you can see right there, you can see the darker patches. Those are actually puffs. And what a puff is, it's just more wind. And you can see that on the water really, really good here. As more wind comes down, it comes down these bands. And then you can look ahead and tell the skipper, hey, there's a puff coming, there's more wind coming, we're going to get more pressure. Go forward again, you can see a really good line there. You can see where it gets lighter, that's a lull, means there's less wind, and a puff right behind it, meaning that there's more wind coming there. With this camera, it's not the best way to see this. In person, you can see it a whole lot better. It's very, very clear, especially with polarized sunglasses. It reduces that glare. And you can see the water change colors, get that darker. It's darker because there's more little tiny ripples on the surface of the water as the wind's moving faster across it. Of course, if it's blowing a whole lot, you'll get a lot of whitecaps. You don't see much whitecaps out here. Like I said, it was blowing like 16, maybe 18. All right, this is us. I think we're around in the mark at this point because we're all sitting, scooting in. So we're getting ready just to fall off. We're not going to tack. Falling off. Oh, yeah, we're ducking a boat. So the boat came right in front of us. That green marker ahead of us, that's our rounding mark. After we pass that, we turn down and start to move parallel to the bridge tunnel, to the other side of the bar, and then head up towards the James River. We're not going to go that far, but that's the direction we'll head next. So here's that mark right there. That's our rounding mark that we use to signify our next leg. So everything starts to ease off. We let the sails out a little bit because we're changing the angle that we are towards the wind. As we turn, falling off means we turn away from the wind. So as it comes more across the side of the boat and not in front of us, the sails need to be eased so it still keeps that same angle towards the wind. So as this happens, a few other things should be happening as we crack off more. We're still kind of on that close reach, meaning that, you know, we're still upwind-ish. But as we fall off more, a couple adjustments should start being made. For example, that outhaul, that if you look right at Corey's head there, you can see the cleat. That should be loosened up. The Cunningham, that rope that I was talking about at the beginning of this video, should be loosened. Maybe let some bang off as well, and release that back stay. So that's that cable that's running from the very back of the boat up. There's a hydraulic pump on that where we can pump it down and tighten it up and pull the top of that mast back. That's another one of those adjustments on there, but we let those out when the sails go out to just make the sail nice and big and billowy so it catches a lot of that wind. When you're going upwind, you're creating Bernoulli's principle. You have that lift. Once you go downwind, you're catching the wind. The wind is pushing you. You're not being that lift anymore. You're being pushed. So you want as much sail area as possible, and you want big, puffy. You can see Corey letting out the jib a little bit there, cracking off, meaning letting out a little further, keep that wind angle as well as we turn more and more. There's a little nun. It's a red nun. We just passed that boat too. Call them nuns. It's like a red buoy floating in the water. It's another channel marker, and that's going to be our next rounding mark. On here, we're still sailing pretty close to like what's it called, beam reach, which means the wind's coming directly across perpendicular to the boat. But it's still a little too much of an angle to raise our spinnaker. The boat behind us, I believe that's Remedy, is the name of that boat. It's going to try to raise their spinnaker unsuccessfully, and I'll get a shot of that in a second when I look back at them. I think it was a little too hot. They're trying to get that up. They're not doing it yet. If they wanted to release it early, they should have headed up higher than us, meaning head towards the bridge more, and then taken a deeper angle towards that next mark, and they probably could have got their shoot out earlier. Now, of course, this is about the time when, remember I said at the beginning that spinnaker bag was on the wrong side of the boat? This is about the time that we realized, hey, it's on the wrong side. So we sent Bill up there, and you can see us moving these lines. We're trying to swing the gear. That's what it's called. So what we're doing is we're taking those sheets and we're moving the bag to the other side of the boat because that sail needs to come underneath that jib and up on the other side. So we have to disconnect it. Now this is them trying to raise that sail. unsuccessfully. It looks like they started to go up, and maybe there's something wrong. Not really 100% sure, but they're trying to get back in the boat. You can see it kind of hanging off the boat there a little bit. They're getting a little bit out of control. Now we make a huge mistake in a little bit too, so I can't speak too soon. Because while Bill was up there changing everything around, I'm not sure if he messed up something when he was reconnecting everything, or if it was we just ran wrong at the dock. It's hard to tell which way it was. There's a lot of confusion, and of course we moved the gear over to the other side. It looks like they got the spinnaker in now, and there, Remedy behind us. That's another boat called, I think it's Wham Bam below us there. That's the name of that boat. They're getting ready to round as well, and we're passing them at this point. But yeah, so there's that nun. You can see in the sunlight right there, that red nun. That's our next rounding mark. We have done plenty of room, and now of course we should be raising up our spinnaker at this point, but because we had to switch the sides, nothing's ready to go up. I don't even think the sail's attached right now, so we need to reconnect the spin sheets, what we use to trim the sail, to the back of that sail. The tack line needs to be attached to the front of it, and the halyard to lift it up needs to be attached to the head or the top of it. It looks like right there looks like he's trying to get the tack line. I'm not sure if he's trying to get the jib sheet around. But at some point it got wrapped around the lifelines, the cables that run that hold you in the boat. And you'll see when we go up, it's all messed up. And Bill was struggling a bit there. We were calling for a lot of things, and nothing was ready. And I'm supposed to be in the back of the boat getting ready to do some of the sail trim. But we have 3 trimmers in the back, so I ended up just running to the front of the boat at some point saying, I'll do it myself. I'm not the bowman. I'm not supposed to be up there. But at some point, someone needs to do something. And I know Bill's pretty new to our boat, and Noah, who's our mastman, was the first time, so he wasn't going to do anything. So here's me running up there saying, hey, we need to get this tack out of here. So you can see him start to. And now you get a good view of what I was talking about. So I need to pass that tack line, or the tack of the sail, this tack line's attached to, underneath the jib and above the bow pulpit. That steel or metal rods, not steel, it's aluminum, and help feed it out because it needs to be pulled all the way to the front of the bow sprint. That sprint's retractable, so it comes in and out. We've extended it now, so that's why it's pointing out some, and I'm trying to feed it out towards the very, very end there, so it's all the way to the pulley. And now this is where Bill's saying, hey, I'm not even attached yet, so we're not ready to hoist. So he's down there frantically trying to get the halyard on, it looks like, and then get the sheets on. Normally in a good racing situation, we've had the chute up when we rounded that mark. So I don't know, 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, not the best set, obviously. So we're just now kind of waiting for him to say, okay, we're ready to hoist. And that's where we have more problems that come up in a bit. And this kind of things happen in sailing, especially early in the season. Like I said, we have a lot of new people on this boat. I haven't really been sailing on this boat much last year. I haven't been sailing much recently in the last few years because I've had small children. But I'm trying to get back into it. So I am familiar with this boat, but and I have sailed it quite a bit. But it's, like I said, first race of the season, we're kind of working out some kinks, plus a different crew. So yeah, Bill's working on that sail there. A couple things that could be done differently. Like I said, Noah, it's his first time. He's our mastman. Normally, he's kind of the assistant of the bowman. Your mastman's usually your assistant, so he should be up there helping Bill with whatever, whether it's tying on sheets while he's getting the halyard or doing something for him. But he's just kind of standing ready for the hoist and waiting for the command there from Bill. It looks like now it's time for the hoist, so he starts to hoist it up. Now, once that thing fills, there's a lot of pressure on there. And see, what happens here is, like I said, the sheet is wrapped around the lifeline. So it's going to pre-fill, like it's going to fill up because it gets caught and it holds the sail full. So he starts to have trouble raising it. So I go up there and help him pull it down as fast as you can. And so you can, that shot, when I looked up real fast, you can see how far it has to be, all the way to the mast. So we're not quite there yet. Now at this point where it gets really hard and it's full like this, you're not able to pull it straight down. Most people are, even if I climbed it with all our weight. So what you do is you kind of like use, you'll see us do in a second, you like a bowstring, you pull it out and it gets that purchase and leverage, like you're pulling a bow off of the mast. And I kind of talk to him about it and say, there we go, pull it out, and then we got shot right back up because the guy in the back of the boat wasn't paying attention. You need to take the slack up. Otherwise, it's going to shoot us right back up as soon as we come in because the pressure will just build right back up. But that's just giving that leverage when you pull like a bowstring. It gives that leverage more than pulling straight down. There's just so much pressure sail. But we're made now. It's all the way up. I still haven't noticed that we have a problem. So I start walking to the back and they're like, hey, there's a problem over there, Alan. So I didn't even make it to the back of the boat before I run immediately back up there and start trying to fix things. So right now I'm talking to the back. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go fix it. So here's me running back up, trying to find the problem. Look down. Oh, there it is. You can see the sheet is wrapped around right there. So I'm going to try to start yanking it out of their hands to undo it all. You can see them loosen it up for me. And I'm trying to hold the sail from flapping forward, going too far forward, and wrap it around the forestay. At the same time, I'm trying to pull that jib sheet or that spin sheet all the way out so they can rerun on the outside of the line, not wrapped within. Kind of a rookie mistake here. But we ended up being a decent recovery. Noah finally comes down to help me at some point, and I hand him the line and say, hey, just make sure the sail doesn't go forward. Don't lose yourself over the boat. If you pull it in too tight and that thing loads up, it can pull you right off the boat. Or you can just let go of the line or the rope. But yeah, so this is me. There's a lot of rope, so I'm sitting there just pulling here. Like I said, this was not the best of our times, but these are good lessons, especially early in the season. So I'm trying to grab that rope to keep it going forward. I think I yelled at Noah saying, hey, can you hold this for me so I can try to help? So I kind of get them on the back of the boat. I was going to do it myself, but I was like, what? I can't do 5 things at once. Here, take this, run into the back of the boat, refit it, fill it through. I'm going to go back up and see if I can keep the line clear so it doesn't get wrapped around anything else and that we're good to go, and keep somewhat of a spinnaker going. Now Noah hasn't come help me yet, so we're not there yet. So Dean takes the rope, and there's a lot of yelling, so I'm trying to hold this. Like, you can see the pressure on there. As soon as I pull it down, you can see it shaking so much because it's trying to pull me out. Now Noah's coming back to help. I'm like, dude, can you grab that line right there and just kind of hold on to it? He, of course, grabs the lazy sheet and starts trying to, it's loud. We're racing. There's a lot of commotion. A lot of people don't know exactly what's going on, so I finally get them to figure that out. There we go. Well, someone tried to grab it. There we go. So I think Corey came back and grabbed it finally. Corey should be trimming. So once we get this thing fixed. So they're trying to feed that up. At some point, I think someone came to me with the whole entire line full, wrapped up, and I was like, just throw it overboard, because going this fast, you can see the weight coming off the boat. We throw it overboard, it's just going to clear itself out on the back of the boat and drag behind. Sure, it's going to be a wet rope, a wet line, and I'm sure sailors out there hate that I'm calling it a rope. I'm talking for the lay people here as well. Anybody watching this that's not a sailor will call that a rope. They see that was when you had the bunch, and I said, throw it overboard, and you can see it going out into the wake there. That's just going to flow back straight with no knots in it. That way Dean can pull it all back in and get that straight. And we're just trying to fly it freehand with no winch, and that's a lot of pressure. Yeah, so as Dean's pulling that in, he's just trying to get all that extra slack, and they're going to run to that next, right there, to the next block, and that's going to go to Corey, who's going to take it right there, pull it back, and now he's going to be able to trim that sail finally. And we somewhat recovered. Maybe we did recover, not somewhat. We recovered. We got it in. Trying to get that all straight, making sure it's all good to go, and it is good, made, let go, trim in the rest of the way, and we're flying a spinnaker now. It's one of these things, these things happen. We get used to it, but all in all, once we get that trimmed in, we'll get, Bill's grinding there. I think I run over there and help grind at some point because I'm like, Bill, you've done enough. Of course, at that point, I've probably done enough too, but here's me climbing up to finish grinding it for them. I said, I'll just take over being a grinder for you. At this point, we're almost done here. I ran out of battery on the GoPro I was using. Next time I'll bring a backup battery so we can do a little better as far as showing you the whole race. But a couple more things. that happened here after the camera goes dead. We do one jibe. The takedown, which is when we take that spinnaker down, was really, really nice. So we did a good job on the takedown. The halyard could have gone a little faster down, but that sail came in really nicely and pretty clean. And this is just me getting up there to grind for him as he's on this leg. Now we'll sail this all the way to the next mark, and then we'll take down that big front sail from the next mark. As you can see, there's only one sail now, so that jib does furl back up. We did, on all the commotion, you probably didn't see that happening, but we do furl that back up when we had the big sail going, so it's not blocking there. At this point, you can see how it's starting to collapse and starting to look like it's coming over. So this is a good thing to talk about. So the wind shifted a little bit, and Steve was driving the boat a little bit too far downwind. We call it sailing by the lee, which means that you're about to jibe. It's not a good thing to do if you're not doing it on purpose. You have to be ready for these things. So he needs to turn up more closer to the wind. He's way too far down, especially for an ASIM. That's why it started collapsing like that and started coming over. What makes it even more dangerous is if you auto jibe and that main comes over too. It can take people's heads off. I mean, it comes over fast and hard. It's not a controlled jibe. Plus the spinnaker, it's on the wrong sheet for a jibe. It would just be a complete disaster if we didn't control that jibe. Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. Like I said, the video kind of ends a little short, but thanks for watching, and come back for more sailing videos as we continue on in the future. I will be posting more racing videos. If I have any videos of me doing some boat repairs, things like that, I'll post those as well. And we'll get those up there. If you guys want to just let me know what kind of videos of sailing you guys want, I'm happy to do like instructional, like these kind of ones where I'm teaching about different parts of the boat. Obviously you won't become an expert with any of this, but this is it can be an educational type channel for anyone who's interested in just learning about sailing, or it can be more adventure based, where I can talk about the adventures and the things we do. If you want it to be more racing or more just learning how to sail, I'm happy to do either of those and teach about them. So thank you guys again for watching. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I can improve. Always happy to hear some feedback. And until next time, guys, happy sailing.